playing out tonight amid a shakeup on President Trump's National Security Council. The president's chief political strategist, Steve Bannon, has now been removed from the National Security Council. What's behind the move? Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tonight.
At the White House today, a staff shakeup. President Trump reversing his controversial decision to put his chief strategist, Steve Bannon, on the National Security Council. Bannon's presence on that council drew harsh criticism, a lightning rod, his right-wing views on nationalism and Islam no secret.
It's pretty dark here in Europe right now, but there's something actually much darker, and that is Islam.
When the president added Bannon to the Principals Committee, he also excluded key military and intelligence officials and was accused of favoring politics over national security experience. Today's restructuring largely due to the growing influence of National Security Advisor General H.R. McMaster, who took on the job after Michael Flynn was fired after just 24 days. The military and intelligence leaders initially excluded, now restored to their permanent seats on the council. Vice President Mike Pence saying today, quote, "This is just a natural evolution to ensure the National Security Council is organized in a way that best serves the president in resolving and making those difficult decisions." White House officials say McMaster and Bannon share the same philosophy and vision, and there was no longer a need for Bannon on the council. They say Bannon has not been demoted. As this news was breaking, the president in the Oval Office with the New York Times, talking about what he called one of the big stories of our time. It involves President Obama's National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, and her acknowledgement that she asked to know the identities of Americans picked up by surveillance, a process known as unmasking. Sources telling ABC News that in some cases they were the names of Trump campaign and transition officials caught up in surveillance as the intelligence community investigated Russia's election meddling. Rice denied leaking any names.
I leaked nothing to nobody and never have and never would.
And Rice says she simply needed to know the names in order to understand the significance of the intelligence reports she was reading.
We can't be passive consumers of this information and do our jobs effectively to protect the American people.
But today, asked by the New York Times if Rice committed a crime, President Trump said, quote, "Do I think? Yes, I think." So far, there is no evidence of a crime. And Democrats say this is all a distraction from the investigation into whether Team Trump colluded with the Russians.
That my impression is I wouldn't be surprised after all of this is said and done that some people end up in jail.
And Cecilia Vega with us live from the White House. And Cecilia, President Trump, of course, has now accused President Obama of wiretapping him. And as you just reported there, he now says Susan Rice may have committed a crime. What is she saying tonight?
Well, David, a spokeswoman for Rice tells us, quote, "I'm not going to dignify the president's ludicrous charge with a comment." We also know now that members of both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees have questions for Rice, and they would like her to testify before their panels, David.
Cecilia Vega with us again tonight. Thank you, Cecilia.